I got a little story to tell. Up until I bought the Tesla I own right now, I had bought in my entire life 2 new cars. Generally, I buy low mileage used cars. Well, uh, my first car that was new was a 1970 Chevy Vega. Probably the worst car General Motors ever produced. I literally hammered 90,000 miles out of it. It tried to die many times and I kept resurrecting it. It was the poorest made car I'd ever seen. So then I didn't buy any new cars for many years. Well, in 2018, the Chevy Bolt was out and it had most of the things I wanted, and at the time I really was not able to afford Tesla, and Tesla hadn't done a lot of, like the Model 3 was out, but the prices were still pretty high on it, and I couldn't do it. But well, I'll buy the Chevy Bolt. So I bought the Chevy Bolt. Contrary to the Vega, it was not a poorly made car. It's very nice car. But it has this little recall problem, you know. I traded that Bolt in on a Tesla Model S 1 hour before they recalled it. I literally had finished the paperwork on it. They had accepted the trade-in, and I watched the news thing right after that, and they had started a recall for the Chevy Bolts for fires. Okay, so me and Chevys don't seem to go too well together, but I think this thing is hilarious. It's sad, but hilarious. General Motors, yeah, they have made good cars. I just don't seem to ever get any of them. I got this thing that tells me all about what you're supposed to do if you own a Chevy Bolt. Let's see. Recommend if you're parking in a parking deck, do so on the top floor or on an open level, at least 50 feet away from other vehicles. Yeah, I guess, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Put caution tape around the car. GM had previously asked owners to park Bolt vehicles outdoors away from structures and do not charge them overnight. Oh, God. Do not leave Bolts charging unattended. I assume you're supposed to sit beside the car while it's charging. You know, they take quite a while to charge. Yeah, don't, even if you're using a charging station in a parking deck. Okay. Is that car viable at all? I can only charge it to 90%, which reduces the range of it by 10%. Most people don't charge to 100% anyway, but the potential if you want to take a trip, is you want to be able to charge it all the way up. You're not supposed to drive it under 70 miles through less than 70 indicated miles left on a charge. More range drop, another 10% or so. You can't park it in your garage. And if the 50-foot rule is something you should do, then you may end up parking it on the street. Because, these things catch on fire when they're plugged in, when they're not plugged in. I've never seen one that caught on fire while they're driving it. It may happen, but it doesn't seem to make any difference, that it's charging or not charging. It just all of a sudden catches on fire. You really have to decide, is General Motors producing a car that's viable? The answer is obvious. It's not viable. The car is not viable. Now, they're going to hem and haw and spend all the money in the world trying to not replace the cars. But eventually, it'll cost them many, many moons, or many, many billions of dollars, mostly because they wouldn't deal with it to start with. Okay, I just thought this little story would be fun. Sad about the car. I really did like that car. The range was a little bit low and didn't charge very fast, but it was a nice little car. The things that it had on it about, lane keeping and that sort of thing were all just a joke. They didn't work. They didn't do anything. I drive a Tesla Model S now, and it works perfectly for all that stuff. Anyway, sad to see it happen, but it is kind of a laughing matter in some ways. Anyway, that's it on this one.